This Valentine's Day, a day supposed to be a celebration of love, turned into tragedy in Kansas City as an alleged verbal altercation in the crowd at the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl victory parade turned into a mass shooting, leaving 22 injured and 1 dead, including 11 children.
Many ISD students happened to attend the parade. We found several affected students who wished to share their thoughts on the situation as well as gun violence in America.
As you likely know, 11 children were part of the victims of the tragedy. So what were your initial thoughts with regards to the situation that occurred?
Well, my initial thoughts were another shooting, and during the Chiefs victory parade, that's kind of expected, honestly.
I was honestly kind of neutral about it because I've heard so much about gun violence and people dying and it happening near our schools, near our families and communities, and just all around in America. And it's been so often and so much that it's kind of hard at some point to keep going and being like, oh, well, I have to put all my emotional investment into this next one because it's just going to happen again.
I've talked to someone who lost someone they knew, and how do I place this? You can see the pain they felt because it was a happy day, it was a celebration, and then something tragic happens.
It's also kind of reflective of our culture right now, that simple disagreements, very simple disagreements of thought, can cause so much violence that we feel that because we disagree with someone or we hate someone even, that killing them, hurting them, harming them, whatever, that's the answer. And so I think that's kind of what you get with America's obsessiveness with gun culture.
It kind of scares me a little about how close it's getting because for all I know, it could happen in my neighborhood.
What's sad is I wasn't all that surprised. I'm a huge emergency management, emergency preparedness person, and I was thinking while I was at the parade, if someone wanted to cause terror or if they wanted to cause devastation, they're going to do it at the rally where there's less room for people to run and more damage can be inflicted.
It's happened once, it can happen again. Maybe next time I'll be one of the victims. I'll know someone who's a victim. It brings down the morale and makes people fear being in such major crowds, even if it's for celebration or anything.
Are we less empathetic because it's easier to get a gun, or are we more prone to violence because we're less empathetic?
I think neither, honestly. I think that recently in our culture we have become so self-obsessed with ourselves and so self-important that we believe that people are less than us because they disagree with us. So then when you have access to a gun, it makes it easier to have that lack of empathy and to kill.
Undoubtedly, there is an epidemic of gun violence in this country. This current situation is merely a drop in the barrel. However, do you feel differently now that there has been a tragedy within our community? Does proximity play a role in shaping your opinion?
No, because when we look at what gun violence truly is, it's not legal gun owners who have these weapons that are causing this. It's a basis of gangs and violence happening for a long time. That's where most gun-related deaths come from.
My boyfriend went to the rally. I had to call him, make sure he was okay, and that's something that you never want to do. I had to check on all my friends that went to the rally, and I had to face the fact that maybe I will move on in life without these people I care about because someone let their anger win.
We need to kind of do a culture change. We need to really look at why we're using guns, how we're having guns.
The laws aren't changing, the politicians aren't listening to how much is happening. They'll send their thoughts and prayers, but what are they going to do when it comes down to legislation on the table? Are they going to actually pass it? The likelihood of that happening is becoming lower and lower because it just keeps happening, and what's changed so far?
Make those regulations against them way more strict because they're so easy to get a hold of right now.
The event is ongoing in the minds of everyone who attended, and the situation remains ongoing. with 2 murder charges, and the Kansas City Chiefs partnering with Casey Strong to open an emergency response fund.
All proceeds go to victims' families and violence prevention services. Donations are still open.
This Groundhog's Day, Punxsutawney Phil saw a shadow, meaning we would have an early spring, though some people have mixed feelings about it.
So I'm upset because I like the cold and the shadow or whatever happened. So that means that it's not going to be cold, and I don't like that.
I mean, it's a really weird holiday. I don't know why we consider it a holiday besides like the historical background to it. I don't know. I don't find any importance in the holiday.
The groundhog lied to us this year, so I kind of think it's pointless because he said winter was over and then it snowed again. I thought that was pretty fake of him.
Even though spring was supposed to come early, a couple weeks after Groundhog's Day, our temperatures went back down to colder weather. Does this affect the groundhog's decision?
I'm very pleased. I hate the heat, so I'm happy that it got cold again. But it's warm again today, so it needs to be cold again tomorrow.
I mean, we live in Missouri, after all, so I don't think whatever the groundhog says is going to be right anyways, because we always have to have our fall, spring, and second and third winter.
Man, I just want it to be nice, warm. I'm ready for the short season, to be outside more, ready for the warmth. I'm not a fan of the cold.
With the temperatures changing from hot to cold, back to hot again, it could be hard on the people affected by it.
Oh, everyone in the school got like the sniffles or the cold. We had teachers out, we had so many students out, and it's yucky. I don't want that.
They make me happier. I like the cold. When it's hot, I'm angry and tired, and I hate going outside.
I didn't prepare for it at all. Clothes-wise, thought-wise, no, I didn't prepare for it.
After the dip in weather, right after the groundhog announced an early spring, it left Money wondering if the groundhog could still be trusted.
No, he's a liar, but it's okay because it benefits me.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I will not believe that rodent, rat, thing, whatever it is. I don't know.
No, freak that groundhog. We should not rely on him anymore.
Like the changes in weather, many things are changing at Chrisman, with the head principal retiring and the assistant principal taking his place. Here's Lily with more information.
It has been announced that Denise Texter will be taking the role as head principal at William Chrisman as Mike Becker steps down. Students Levi Smith and Ashlyn Reyes commented on how they feel about the situation, as well as Mike Becker commented about how he feels leaving the district.
How does it feel to step down as head principal?
It's a bittersweet feeling. Happy to get to this part of my life as it's a reward to get to your retirement age. And it's an opportunity for me to spend with, I have 2 grand boys now, and then my kids and my family, and opportunities to travel and relax. The bittersweet part is stepping away from something I did a long time that I truly loved.
Feels kind of sad, but it also feels like it's for the better.
How do you feel that Texter is taking over the role as head principal?
If I'm being honest, I'm just glad it's not Becker anymore.
Why do you feel that way?
First, there's been a lot of rumors circulating about Becker, particularly the one where he ate someone's food off a restaurant just because he was feeling a little quirky, and because I think Texter's done a good job over the past years, and she honestly deserves the position.
How do you feel that Miss Texter is taking over as head principal?
Well, it ought to be really seamless. She's been here 11 years. The staff knows her, the kids know her, the parents, community all know her. She'll do a great job.
I feel like it's pretty much going to be the same way as it is with Becker, but I feel like since she's more dominant, she's more forceful, I feel like it's going to be a lot better. We're going to have better rules. We're going to have more control over vapings in the bathrooms, stuff like that.
In a lot of ways, she runs aspects of the building that she will continue to probably to be in charge of. PD, the English department, staff meetings, staff as a whole, leadership groups. I think the kids know her as somebody that is very firm in regard to having high expectations for our kids. But we'll have those tough conversations in terms of accountability. But we'll do everything she can to try to help students and families in whatever challenges they have, both academically, here in the community, with jobs, with boyfriends, girlfriends, family members, celebrations. She's been right there, always at the forefront of that. A great mother, 2 wonderful kids, wonderful husband, and always willing to give of herself for really Chrisman and the district first.
Something that you've learned greatly as being principal?
Every day's different. That's what makes the job exciting. Always put kids first. Have high expectations for them. Go Bears.
On February 16th, Dr. Dale Hurl posted to X, "This is a scary trend. More teachers are completely leaving the profession than ever before. The why of the 4-day school week was to ensure that we are able to attract and retain the very best staff." With a graph from Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education showing a large dip in teacher retention from 2018 to 2019 till this year. This caused some debate in the comment section whether it is the school district and or the students themselves' fault. Students commented, and this is what they had to say. Teaching.
I think it's usually because of 2 reasons. Either A, they can't handle the kids because they're being too rambunctious, or either B, they don't like the pay and overall the job just doesn't suit the adapting economy of the United States.
I think it's so that they can go back to their normal lives and being able to spend more time with family, go on vacations and do stuff like that.
Do you think that 4-day weeks affects teachers wanting to be teachers?
Absolutely. I think it really depends on different classes. Like take for instance, if you look at culinary, a lot of the culinary teachers don't enjoy it as much because they have harder times having cooking blocks, and it's harder to access labs and long durations of time. So it hits teachers who really need long hands-on hours with students harder, but then other classes really appreciate the time more.
5-day weeks should definitely come back so that they're more prepared for the plans of the week. And I think so that they don't have to squish everything into 4 days because of the 4-day week.
Do you think that teachers wanting to leave is a staff thing or a student thing?
I think most of the time it might be a student thing because some kids, they procrastinate on their work, and then teachers get really stressed with grading and stuff. Especially again with the 4-day weeks. So I think it's just a lot being put on them from the students because some students can't keep up with their work.
I think it's definitely more down to the students, but I think it's the staff's job to cultivate the environment where students enjoy classes.
As Mike Becker heads to many new changes, so has Beyonce with her voice. Here's Andy to comment on Beyonce's change and how it is breaking the music industry.
Beyonce, pop culture icon, has recently released her new single, Texas Hold'em, on February 11th, shocking media with her abrupt change from her classic R&B style to what seems to be country music. It appears that many avid listeners and country fans alike are not taking well to this sudden change. How often do you listen to Beyonce?
Once a day.
Unless she just happens to be on the radio, I don't.
I listen to her every couple weeks, maybe depending on the mood that I'm in.
Have you listened to her new song, Texas Hold'em?
I've heard it, 5 seconds of it.
Do you think any other music artists will start changing genres?
No idea. Hopefully Jay-Z doesn't.
It's very possible.
Yeah, I definitely do because since Beyonce did it, people want to follow in her footsteps.
Do you think country music fits Beyonce?
No, from her background, all her other songs, doesn't really fit her genre that she's been doing forever.
Have you heard about her new song, Texas Hold'em?
Not till just now.
I heard it the other day, and then I heard it in class today.
What are your feelings about artists like Beyonce going from pop to other genres or switching from other genres to pop?
Why? Just why?
I think she should go back to Destiny's Child because country's not the move.
I mean, it was definitely different. Me personally, I was like, it's all right for the people that like it.
What do you think of the new song?
Me personally, I don't like country music, so I thought it was trash.